White men for Harris.
White dudes for
White
Harris,
dudes,
because
my bad. White
it's
dudes.
much cooler, much more casual that way. So, for anyone who may have missed the news, on Monday, there was a large gathering attended by potentially 180,000 people. Somehow they fit that many dudes into a single Zoom group, and it was a gathering in support of Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. What they did was, they organized this group. They had a bunch of celebrities, a bunch of high-ranking politicians all get together and all emphasize, hey, we're white and we're also super liberal. And just to put in perspective how this whole thing went down, if you were in a Zoom call with Pete Buttigieg and David Hogg, and they somehow look more straight and more masculine than you, something has gone horribly wrong. Pete Buttigieg was the least homosexual thing about this entire meeting.
Wait, David Hogg isn't gay?
It's indeterminate. I fully, separate and aside, I fully expect him to come out as some weird sexual variation. Either he's going to come out as gay, or he's going to come out as non-binary, or be trans.
Yeah, he looks very like he looks like an immediate. He's like a not fully formed.
Because his whole thing is about his political identity.
Whoa.
Well, I just read Time magazine, The Education of David Hogg. It's an article, and they wrote he has a beard now and a girlfriend. I thought they were the same thing.
Yes.
Has a girlfriend.
Oh man.
But anyway, I wanted to play some of the clips of this. We have a little highlight reel of what went down here. If you want more details on what was said, we have an article at vt.com right now that you can go check out. But there's also this little highlight reel that somebody cut together. We'll dive into some of these statements and clips in a minute. But first, just look at this quick summary. And this is going to be almost as painful as the white women, but not quite.
Kelly, give me a bucket. I'm going to
check this out.
This is it?
I'm white, I'm a dude, and I'm for Harris.
Over the last few years, I've been thinking a lot about men.
I'm not sure if you guys can recall that feeling you had on the night of Tuesday, November 8th, 2016. I stood over my kid's bed and I wept.
White nationalists in MAGA, they want to speak for you specifically as white men.
In the marginalized communities that educate me every single day, that this is a constant education for all of us.
Kamala is carrying on her shoulders 248 years of pain, of agony, of hope, of frustration. And no matter how high she jumps, no matter how many degrees she has, no matter how good her grades are, she's never good enough because they're always moving the line.
What a variety of whiteness we have here, with like a rainbow of beige.
But man, I am scared to death of what the future could look like if we go back to another Trump administration, one that truly left working construction white men behind.
You've seen it with congressional leaders who have called Vice President Harris a DEI candidate.
He's reading.
Of course, men are also more free
Mad TV
in a country where we have a president
magazine
who stands up for things like access to abortion.
Who would want to have sex with
Let's
that
be
guy?
clear about who Donald Trump is.
That's what I'm saying.
Donald Trump is a 34-time convicted felon, an adjudicated
that's J.B. Pritzker,
and a congenital liar.
Families on the
He's
planet.
a fraud. And J.D. Vance is his mini-me.
From Family Guy.
He's worth $40 billion. He's that fat. You're disgraceful.
Describes the two of them. Sofa, dolphin, shark, cats, convict.
Real men respect women, their decisions, their careers.
I don't know. You tell me how much
Pretty
more
clear
you
that
stand.
Donald Trump.
What a raw dog.
Okay.
Come on.
Can't stick it out till the end.
And by the way, every single one of those guys, every single one of them is creepy looking. They look like the guys that are in the pack. They're the real guys that could have easily have starred in the pack commercial. By the way, and I feel like all the actors, all these fat loser, those are the ones that bow down and probably did something where they have dirt on, where they say like this, you have to be in this video.
Yeah. Here's the most egregious part of that. That raised $4 million for the Kamala Harris campaign. That little QR code in the corner was taking you directly to Act Blue, which is the Democrats' money laundering website. They raised allegedly $4 million. Or, big donors circumvented campaign finance laws by pretending that they all came from grassroots donors. But I want to break down some of what we just watched, because they had all the biggest celebrities and politicians in there. Some people that it broke my heart to see them in there because they're actors whose work I actually like. But to see them cuck out for Harris, it's like Vinny said, what kind of dirt do they have to have on you? If you're Jeff Bridges, what's the incentive? What's the buy-in? Why would you want to do this, to come out and say all these things? I want to break down some of the quotes. We'll start with the politicians, because all the politicians who are in there, for the most part, are guys who are currently in the running to be Kamala Harris's vice presidential pick. Funny how that works. Weird. Turns out, if you just prove you're willing to bend over backwards, in the case of Mayor Pete, further than others, forward in order to have Harris pick you. Starting off with Pete Buttigieg, like you saw in that video, men are also more free in a country when we have a president who stands up for things like access to abortion rights. That's great.
A guy that will never get a woman pregnant.
A guy.
What does he know about men?
Nothing.
Pete Buttigieg went out and bought children.
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg is a human trafficker.
And one maternity or paternity leave.
Yeah.
What is it?
And nobody noticed. Nobody noticed his
Gayest
like
thing I've ever heard.
6-month paternity leave.
Yeah, paternity leave while the country, all the trains were derailing, all the bad shit was.
But on the Pete Buttigieg front, I'll just say human trafficking is 100% illegal unless you are an affluent Western homosexual, in which case you are incentivized to engage in it. Nice. Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. So he's just, it's not socialism, it's just being nice to each other. Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina, I'm not a political scientist or pollster, but I know enough, and I've seen enough polling results or outcomes in elections to know that if white males could vote 1 to 2% more for Democrats than they usually do, we would win this race. J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois, a white dude's gathering doesn't usually sound like something I would join in, but this is a terrific cause. And then the one black guy who showed up in that video, Maurice Mitchell, he's the national director of the Working Families Party. White men are a massive part of the electorate, and in a close election, a few percentage points can be the difference between having a democracy or not. Before we get to the actors and the celebrities, I want to hit on a point I mentioned when we were talking about the white women showing up for Harris. This is the only time I have ever seen white men acknowledged as a voting bloc.
Ever.
By any politician.
Ever.
When was the last time you saw anybody, right, left, or center, do anything to get the attention of white men?
I've never seen anything that had the word white in it.
There has never been a time where it's like, hey, white men specifically, I'm talking to you. But even when they desperately show up and say, like, we need money and we need support and we need to swing the base towards us, all they can do is put down white guys. Like the one actor from The West Wing said, this is a rainbow of beige we have here. And all these dismissive terms of that, they still believe that white men are the actual devil. They believe that white men are responsible for the worst things in history, and they need to take their place at the bottom of the intersectional pyramid so that everybody else can rise above them.
We are. Look at electricity. That was discovered by a white man, or the automotive created by Henry Ford, another white man.
The airplane.
We really are the devil.
The Wright brothers.
The white Wright brothers.
Find a thing that exists, and you will find a group of people trying to tell you that it was actually black people who invented it. It's a whole thing. You will fall down this rabbit hole for years if you start looking. Of the movements trying to say that anything that has ever been invented was secretly invented by a black person, but then stolen by a white guy. But we stole all their stuff, but they never managed to reinvent it in the places where they come from.
The AI stuff is hilarious.
But,
all the AI
it's psychotic behavior. Yeah. But even so, Democrats are now acknowledging that white men are an intersectional identity group. It's the one they hate, but it at least exists as a category.
But they need to vote, right? Kind of because everybody's voting. All the white guys are going MAGA.
Same reason why anytime we're about to go to war, they start putting white guys back in recruitment ads for the army.
Weird.
Because they need the bulk of their citizens who are white men to go re-enlist and do the fighting for them.
Weird.
But as we saw at the RNC, they don't care about white men as an intersectional category. In fact, they're willing to throw away the votes of millions of downtrodden Rust Belt white guys on the off chance that they can secure like 6 more black votes.
Yep.
The black vote is never going to go to Republicans. It is now like 82% in favor of Harris, according to the latest polls. A Republican is never going to knock that down. Or if they are, we're still hundreds of years away from that happening. So while they try to chase this fringe group so they can say, oh no, look how diverse the conservative movement is, they're actually just alienating the people who have put them in office over and over again, while the Democrats are saying, no, come to us. Yep. We hate you, but at least we'll acknowledge you exist. Now let's turn to the actors, because when you have a bunch of high-profile politicians and celebrities all together, this is what they're trying to do. And like I said, some of these people, it just broke my heart to see them involved in this. Sean Astin, who played Samwise Gamgee in Lord of the Rings. Rudy. He's amazing.
The kid from Goonies.
Yes. A beloved figure in every role he's ever played, was saying he's excited to see a qualified, tested, and proven woman in the presidency so that all the girls for all time can know that it's possible.
They probably have a video of him having sex with
but right there,
Gandalf.
Even in the statement, a woman and a good role model for all young girls. Why can't it just be she's the most qualified Democrat to serve the position? That should be the only basis for that decision.
And also, of all the role models, why Kamala Harris?
What role model? What has she done to? If a young girl did her research and found out how Kamala got to there, Willie Brown, Montel Williams, and all that stuff, guess what? That's what's happening in America right now. She might as well have a freaking OnlyFans account.
It will blow their cover.
Oh, my God.
So, other guys, Mark Hamill. No surprise there.
But he has full-blown TD.
Yes. Yeah, he praised Biden as the most legislatively successful administration since Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and he urged voters to, quote, stand up to Trump's mental illness.
What a weird pick.
Yeah. Remember a few months ago where everybody gave me crap for my segment about how Star Wars actually sucks? Yeah. I take back everything I said. The main reason Star Wars sucks is because Luke Skywalker is a giant cuck.
Okay, good. I appreciate it.
Then, Jeff Bridges, as we saw, I'm white, I'm a dude, and I love Harris. Yeah, Kamala is so certainly our girl, a woman president man, so exciting, and her championing of women's rights, I'm for that, and for her stance on the environment. Josh Groban said, as a white guy, the world has been built for you. It can be so much easier to not be politically outspoken. It's easy to assume someone else will step up, but I'm proud to raise my hand and be involved in this.
Who said that?
Josh Groban. Josh Gad, the hefty guy who cried over his children's bed, and also,
he was probably crying because they ate his ice cream. Overweight ass.
They have Kid Rock, Kevin Sorbo, and a dolphin aficionado, and we have the Hulk, Samwise Gamgee, Luke Skywalker, and Mayor Pete just on one Zoom. So they have Mark Ruffalo, Sean Astin,
but
Mark
we have
Hamill,
the actual Hulk. We have Hulk Hogan, and that is the real Hulk. So you can have the bullshit Mark Ruffalo one.
Yeah, what are you going to do when 1,000 Hulk maniacs come to your door, brother?
Yeah, brother.
But it went on from there, and it lasted for up to 3 hours. You can go watch the live stream yourself if you want to.
You know what it feels like? It feels like there's more black people that are ready to vote for Trump than white people are ready to vote for Harris, based on what I hear. And any black person I see supporting Trump, it's random on the street, passionate from the heart. Any white person I see saying this shit's scripted, looks fake, looks like they're being held hostage. So I'm not buying this for a second.
Assume what a cuck thing. Like
it's so bad, dude.
Like involuntary.
They were all cucks.
Call.
And you nailed it, bro. All those guys getting paid, obviously, they're cucks. All of them are soft men. And if shit hits the fan and the grid goes down, they're the first ones that are going to die. I'm telling you guys right now, when shit does hit the fan, and it's going to hit the fan, and everybody's scrambling, and they're going to have no guns, they're going to have no survival skills, and they're going to be running up to us, begging us, please, protect me. You know what I'm going to say? Fuck you. Get out of my face. Go fetch me some water, you piece of shit.
J.B. Pritzker, there's nothing impressive about J.B. Pritzker. He inherited billions of dollars from his grandfather and father, and he's somehow fat as fuck when he's worth $40 billion. It's pathetic.
Yeah, with all that money, bro, guess what? Liposuction, do something. I don't respect anybody that, like him and that Gad, the big guy, like, you want me to listen to your opinion on what the future of our country? The future of your body is unhealthy, and you're going to die sooner than the average
person.
If
they can bring out a guy with an actual jawline to talk about Harris, maybe I'll listen.
Yeah, other than that, I don't want to hear that
for
shit.
Harris.
What's up, everybody? Vincent O'Shaughnessy here. If you want to see me and the entire Valuetainment crew, we will be at the Vault Conference September 4th through the 7th at the Palm Beach Convention Center, hosted by none other than Patrick Bet-David and featuring Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Guys, this is the place to be. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to level up, do not miss this opportunity. This is the best place to network. If you want tickets, go to thevaultconference.com. Do not waste time. This thing is going to sell out, and I will see you guys there. Peace and love. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.